there, folks, and welcome into today's video. Hope you guys are doing great out there as always. So today we're getting into a stock that I hold that is red hot, and I mean red burning hot. Okay, this stock is red hot, and essentially I think this stock has massive upside, and some news came out in relation to the stock here today that I want to go ahead and cover, and I want to kind of share my perspective on this. So I hope you guys enjoy this as always. I'll ask in return is that you smash as always. So, you know, being a stock picker and being in the public eye, I usually feel like I'm kind of a ship captain, and I'm trying to lead the ship, through the ocean essentially. And sometimes we get caught up into a hurricane, and it's looking ugly, right? And those are usually the time periods when everybody's like, "Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You lost a step. You're not good at this anymore." Things like that, and just receiving a lot of hate. And I'm like, man, we're just trying to get through a little hurricane here. We're going to get to the sunny days. Okay, the sunny days are coming. Just wait on it. But needless to say, when you're going through the storm, everybody's looking at you and they're like, "Dude, I don't think you know what you're doing, man." And that happens, right? And then we prosper, and the sun comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh man, you didn't actually know what you're doing." Okay, and this stock is a perfect example of this. I got in this stock, huge believer in this one, and it just went down and down and down for months and months and months. And recently, the sun is starting to come out, and the key word is starting to come out. This is not the grand finale. This is just starting to come out, okay? So that stock is Voyager Digital, VYGVF. This is a stock that I was down, I believe it was over $90,000 just a few weeks ago. I am now up $50,000 on this position as of right now, and I will be up a whole lot more long term in my personal opinion, as long as there's not a multi-year bear market in crypto. This one should be looking pretty dang good, okay? Now, huge news came out in regards to Voyager Digital, and this is stuff, like, people think about Voyager Digital, if they even are educated on Voyager Digital, which more than likely they're not, right? They think about it as just a crypto brokerage, but they fail to recognize the fact that Voyager Digital bought a business recently, and this is a game-changing potential business model here. Because remember, why do we? There's a lot of reasons why people are excited about crypto, but one of the potentials for crypto over time is the fact that you could go to a business, and if you want to spend Bitcoin with that business, if you want to spend, Ethereum or whatever the currency is, you don't have to just spend dollars with that business, right? You can really spend whatever you want to spend, right? And if it's some crypto, the restaurant will accept that crypto, or this business over here, Starbucks or whatever, right? That is one of the many reasons that people are excited about basically crypto down the road. Well, the question is, well, how does that happen? Like, how are we going to end up doing that in 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, or maybe in 2 years from now? Like, how does this actually happen? Well, Voyager Digital integrates Voyager token, VGX, which is something I also own a lot of. I think I own over 30,000 VGX, into Coinify's crypto payment platform. So basically, Voyager bought this company called Coinify, which has ridiculous potential over the coming years. Voyager Digital, the integration of a Voyager token into Coinify's cryptocurrency payment platform, a wholly owned Voyager subsidiary which provides merchant payment services in 150 countries. Coinify's payment system allows businesses to accept cryptocurrency online and in retail stores, and is integrated through the payment service providers with 30,000 merchants globally, okay? This is something that absolutely is a game-changing potential business inside of Voyager. This is, Amazon Web Services back, in 2007, 2009. Not a lot of people even recognize that as a potential huge business. Right now, we look at Amazon, and if you're anybody that's educated on Amazon, you realize a substantial portion of Amazon's value of the company comes from Amazon Web Services, right? It was a long time, this platform you're watching this video on YouTube, people are like, I don't get it. Like, what does this matter to Google? And now, as far as Google goes, right, a huge portion of Google's valuation is because of the YouTube platform, right? So sometimes you have these companies that essentially acquire another company or build out a company in-house that not a lot of people even see until it's right in front of their face. And I think that same exact thing's happening to Voyager Digital here with this Coinify platform. And remember Facebook acquired Instagram for $1 billion years ago? Yeah, Instagram's probably worth 200, 300, if not $400 billion just as a standalone company now. So needless to say, when you acquire one of these businesses, if you integrate it well, like a lot of these companies do, like the world is yours, and this could end up becoming a substantial portion of where your market cap goes over time. And this Coinify platform, in my opinion, is absolutely at the forefront of this technology and at the forefront of this massive growing industry, which will be, running certain amounts of transactions through cryptocurrency, which there's no doubt this is going to grow, right? No different than, everybody was used to using cash at a certain time, and then debit cards and credit cards came around. And now, maybe other than my parents, I don't think I know one person that uses cash to buy stuff. Like everybody I know uses credit cards or debit cards to buy everything, right? And when it comes to using a cryptocurrency of some kind to complete a transaction, it seems like we're just, going to slowly move that way over the coming years, and it's going to become more and more popular, and more folks, especially in the newer generation, will decide to go that route, right? Our acquisition of Coinify earlier this year added a global crypto payments infrastructure to the Voyager ecosystem, and we will continue to implement additional ways to maximize this infrastructure to grow crypto adoption internationally, said CEO Steve, okay? So essentially, we're in a situation here where Voyager is building out in like an overall ecosystem, okay? Here's what it is. It's a crypto brokerage that also wants to become a stock brokerage over the coming years, which also is going to be likely launching a debit card product very soon, right? They have the VGX coin, which is the core of Voyager, essentially, in their rewards program, right? And then they have bought this Coinify platform, which could end up becoming the payment processor, or a huge payment processor for crypto in terms of like, I want to go buy something off Amazon, maybe it goes through Coinify. Or I want to buy something from somebody on eBay, maybe we complete that transaction through Coinify, right? Or I go to the local restaurant and I'm like, I don't want to pay with dollars, I want to pay with this, and I can do it through Coinify, okay? And so this is something that just over the next decade plus has just crazy potential, and they're literally at the forefront of this technology. And so Voyager overall is building out an ecosystem which is going to complete the whole business, which is so dang key, okay? And so when you start to put all these pieces together, you can also start to realize how Voyager becomes a $10 billion, $30 billion, $50 billion, $100 billion type company over the next 5-10 years. When you start to put all these pieces together on exactly what they're doing, it just comes down to the execution, right? Coinify. If you're at all interested in getting more educated, go to their website, essentially. And this is, like I said, guys, this is just something that has such big potential that people don't even realize. Like Voyager, because it's not on the major exchange yet, right? Being like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, a lot of people just still aren't even educated on this company, and especially the fact that it's just come out of nowhere in the last year or two. Wait until Wall Street gets a hold of this baby and they start to realize, the growth that Voyager has, and they start to realize these sorts of opportunities that the company has over the next, let's call it decade or multi-decades. Wall Street's going to get a little excited about this nonetheless as they start to get educated. Now, if we look on the App Store, oh, wait a minute, that's a Hungry Bull. We're not in the top 200. Whoopsies, okay? We need to get to the top 200. Voyager, 23 like Michael Jordan, okay? 23 like the GOAT, okay? That's where you want to be. 23 most popular app in the entire financial category. Remember, this is like how fast Voyager is changing the game here, okay? No one heard of Voyager 18 months ago. This was a nobody company. 18 months ago, no one heard of this thing, okay? And now they are the number 23 most popular app in the entire financial category. Like, think about how big of a change that is just in an 18-month span, okay? Now imagine this Coinify and how that will take off over the next 3, 5, 7 years. And because of the likely extremely positive cash flows Voyager is going to have coming in over the coming years, this is going to put Voyager in a position where they're going to be able to funnel money into Coinify to build out that network into a big successful thing over the coming years. And that can hopefully become the number one player in that market and transactions over time. I mean, think about how big it will be if you have the number one payment processor for basically, running crypto transactions for a business and things like that. And imagine if Voyager's just making a little bit each time they run that transaction. Like, imagine they just make a little bit of Bitcoin Bitcoin each time, right? Or a little bit of this cryptocurrency or that cryptocurrency each time a transaction's run, right? Like, imagine the long-term opportunity for a company like Voyager. It is absolutely substantial, right? And so the way I'm starting to view Voyager stock is I think this is a mini Square. Okay. And Square is a company that, if you look at that, they've been, very successful in kind of building out an ecosystem of not just an app, but overall, like, something that businesses use for transactions. Even when I had my real estate marketing company back in the day, I used to use Square to process a lot of transactions from my customers. Okay. And so Square's just been able to successfully build out this ecosystem over the past decade. And when I look at Voyager, that's exactly, essentially where Square was about a decade ago. That's exactly where Voyager is today, in my opinion, except for the fact that I feel like Voyager has a much more successful app than Square had 10 years ago. Like Square didn't really have a successful app back then, right? And Voyager has this huge crypto brokerage that's building out that's going to make them a cash flow machine, right? Which is then they're going to be able to basically turn that money, run it into the Coinify platform, build that out bigger and bigger. As Voyager, the app, becomes more successful, VGX is likely going to become more successful as people buy that up, which is going to make the platform even stickier. And then if you want to complete the transactions right through Coinify, through VGX, you start to run all these pieces together, and needless to say, the story starts to get really exciting. And then you talk about stock brokerage, which the company likely is going to get into, I would say, probably in the next year, in my personal opinion. That's just my best guess, that they get into that market probably in the next year. Think about it. Steve and a lot of the executives of that company, where are they from? They're from E-Trade. So it's not rocket science for them to build out a stock brokerage. And they've even talked about concepts before of being able to swap out your crypto for a stock, as well as swap your stock out for a crypto without ever having to go through USD, right? Which is a pretty dang out there concept. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are the ones that end up pulling off something like that, which is a crazy out of the box concept, but I could see it being huge potential there, right? And so once again, you start, debit cards, credit cards likely coming for the company over time. Like you really build out an ecosystem company that could rival many, tech giants or fintech giants in general, right? And that's the thing with this company. It's a $3 billion market cap today. Like, this is a joke of a market cap compared to where I believe this company is going to go to over the coming years. The only thing that I think can get in Voyager's way is a multi-year bear cycle for crypto, where crypto is just down and out for years. Outside of that scenario, Voyager, in my opinion, has the world is theirs, okay? Never mind if there's a bigger crypto boom over the coming years, and let's say Bitcoin goes to 250,000 or 500,000 over the coming years, like some people, are expecting. If that happens, that's a whole other game changer for Voyager. I'm not even pricing that in. I'm just saying, like, the crypto market's stable. Maybe it slightly moves up over time. Like, the world is Voyager's. Outside of a multi-year bear market where no one cares about crypto anymore, outside of that scenario, like, Voyager's opportunity over the next 10 years is absolutely ridiculous, guys. And so that's why I've invested, quite a bit of money. Considering this is an OTC stock, for me to put in, the amount of money I have put into the stock, I have to be a huge believer. My cost base on this is $237,000. I don't just throw around $237,000 into OTC stocks, okay? If I do, it's because the company has to have such a crazy long-term opportunity in front of it that it just is like, I can't stay out of that one, right? And so that's exactly how I feel about Voyager Digital here. You've seen the deal they do with Mark Cuban there, the Dallas Mavericks, which is just a massive potential there, and the deal they had a weekend or two ago, essentially, where if you signed up for Voyager through the Dallas Mavericks link, you got $100 in free Bitcoin. Like, you look at a lot of these deals that Voyager's pulling off here, and you start to kind of realize, oh man, the long-term potential here for the stock is really dang crazy. And so that's why I put as much money into the stock. And then, the last component here in terms of if you're talking about the stock price, I think it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time before Voyager Digital gets listed onto the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Who knows when it happens? I'm not going to predict which quarter that happens in or anything like that, but I think it's just a matter of time. And once this baby gets on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, and if they keep putting up this sort of growth, just wait. Everybody on Wall Street's all of a sudden going to find out about this stock over the next, basically the next 12 months after that happens, right? Because remember, because it's OTC stock, a lot of hedge funds and funds in general can't even buy this stock right now. As this company gets listed on the big dog exchanges, all of a sudden all these hedge funds and funds in general, right, high net worth individuals will all start to consider it, because right now they won't consider it because it's an OTC stock, right? And so that's just another massive thing for the company. And then as the company's valuation increases over time, if they ever want to raise money, they can basically dilute in such a small fashion and get crazy money for that, right? Now, in my opinion, based upon some of the cash flows I think this company can have coming in, I don't think they'll really need to dilute in any major way. However, as the market cap increases over time, if they ever want to dilute 1%, 2%, 3%, they'll be able to get a really large amount of money for that as the company's valuation goes up. And so this one, just like the world is theirs type of opportunity here, they're just on the forefront of so many technologies that are going to be massive over the next 10 plus years that I'm like, I'll put my chips on the table here. I put 200,000 plus in this one, and we'll see where it goes over the coming years. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this stock's a 10x type stock over the next 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened in 2 years. I'll just be completely honest. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't change, my future, right? Whether Voyager 10x's or doesn't 10x, that doesn't change much for me, right? I like making successful investments at the end of the day, but $1 million or $2 million doesn't change the game for me. However, I will say, I like to be part of successful companies, right? And I like to put my chips on the table. And when I see something that has huge long-term potential, I like to put the money there. And so, we'll see what happens with that one over the coming years. But I think it has some absolutely massive potential. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, just so you know, we got a huge, massive Black Friday sale coming for the private stock group. We haven't done one of those in like 100 years. If you want to get on the notification list to be notified as soon as that deal drops, go ahead and check out pinned comment down there. Much love as always, guys. Don't forget to smash and have a great day.